Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the October 20th edition of Makers and Movers podcast. And what a weekend it was. We'll talk about that today because it was a weekend. But you know what we're going to talk about first? We're going to talk about if this is still fun. We're going to talk about rediscovering, why you started decorating in the first place. That's today's that's today's topic. I think it's something that we need to do is kind of reconnect with your why and kind of have those small goals, those small wins matter more than the big goals. So I hope we take a lot away from this today. If it's your first time here, a long time here, I need to know who you are, where you're from, what's in your cup, and what the weather is like in your area. I've not been outside yet because my schedule is all wonked out. Why? Because wife and kids are gone. Takes a lot, to throw that all around. It was a day yesterday. We had a weekend of getting them ready to get out of here, only for it to be on the way to the airport for the flight to get delayed. Not once, not twice, not three times, not four times, five times. It was delayed. It ended up being delayed 5 hours. So that was really nice when I thought I was going to be taken to the airport at one time, and then I had kind of stuff planned out behind that work wise, and it couldn't happen because it was just kept waiting and waiting and waiting. So I think they finally got to their hotel. They finally got to their hotel at what time was it? Let me see. 3:54 this morning is when they got to their hotel, and they should be getting on the Disney boat in like 2 hours. So good times were all around. And the Bears won, so I will take that. So let's check in. We'll see how people doing. Oh, I need to know. Yeah, after that, I need your five things. What are five things that you're going to accomplish today? Like I said, my whole schedule's wonked out because it used to be I would be in the office between 5 and 6, and I'd work to 7:30, then take the kids to school and come back and do that, and that's kind of all wonkety wonkety. For us, five things. Stock. We got rhinestones delivered. Woo! So making sure everything's good to go with that and putting those back in stock. So we haven't like put out there that hey, things are back in stock, but there are things back in stock, so that's a plus. So that's what it's kind of the first part of the day, and then we had a busy weekend of orders, so that'll be most of my day today. Is I get some meetings here this morning. We're stocking, we're pulling orders, we're shipping orders, we're doing all that. So that's what we got rocking and rolling today. Barb, good morning from North Central Minnesota. Oh, and I'm drinking an orange Celsius. Orange Celsius. 50 periodic showers, water in a cup, five things, 3D printing, invoicing, email quotes, create ad, sewing alterations. I did have some fun with Sora over the weekend. Made a couple, I think, fun videos. Well, I think some people liked them, some people hated them, but hey, that's part of it. Wait, you see the next ones. Uh, Cindy says, I really like dancing and music. Anyone else? I do. I'm in the background for it. Renee, good morning. 40 on the way to 63. Water in the bottle, coffee in the cup. Oh, Barb. Oh, Barb. Oh, hi. Yeah, yeah, yeah. On the road, but listening. Linda, where are you headed to this morning? Hi, Linda. Be safe. Yes. Hi, Linda. Hi, Linda. Indeed. So remember, like, share, comment, do all that stuff with it. Um, we just got a busy day, busy day to try and make sure we get everything taken care of because yeah, it was a busy weekend. It was a restocking of things. It's just we got a lot going with it. So I think before no now with everything, we're just gonna we'll just get into it, right? We're gonna talk about how we can rediscovering why you started decorating in the first place, and how we can keep that passion alive when it starts to feel like a grind instead of that creative outlet. You started decorating because you loved it. The thrill of creating something from nothing. The sparkle, maybe rhinestones catching the light just right. The first time that customer said, "Man, I love this." But sometimes, somewhere between those custom orders and the deadlines and dealing with difficult clients, that spark starts to fade. And then suddenly, what used to be your creative escape starts to feel like it's just another job. So, if you've ever sat at your press and just thought, I just don't love this like I used to, I will tell you, you are not alone. Every maker hits that wall. I bet on average, once a week, I probably say, "What the hell am I doing? Why am I doing this? I'm just gonna go work for somebody else." The problem isn't that you've lost your passion, it's just that you've been buried under way too much pressure. So, today, uh, we're digging into how to bring the joy back, to bring that creativity back and purpose that got you into your business in the first place. We're going to bring that back. Because if you don't take care of your passion, burnout's just going to take care of it for you. So we're going to, rediscover the fun, the kind that made you fall in love with making in the first place. So, numero uno is going to be remember your why. All right. When work starts to feel like a grind, it is time to reconnect with your why. Maybe you started doing this, or what? Hold up, let me back up. What made you really start doing this in the first place? Was it maybe to spend some more time at home with your family? To have a little, you know, side income there on your own terms. It was even just to bring people joy through what you were creating. The original reason. That's your anchor, and you cannot steer your business forward if you've lost sight of it. So, just take a moment, to think back to those early days. The late nights spent experimenting with the different mediums. The pride that you felt when selling your first few items. That spark didn't vanish. It just got buried beneath the daily noise. So we need to revisit it, and we need to revisit it often. We need to write it down. We need to say it out loud. The clearer your why, the easier it is to make decisions that align with your happiness, not just your to-do list. When your day feels heavy, remember that every shirt, every sign, every sticker, everything that you create still carries that same creative DNA that started it all. You're not just making the products, you're building stories that outlast the sale. So, some examples of this, the decorators started posting, throwback Thursdays, and they were revisiting their first designs and remembering how far that should come. That simple reflection just reignited their pride. Another artist created a vision board with photos of their kids, first craft show, and customer selfies with their product. Every glance reminded her of why she pushed through. So for this action step, let's just write your why on a sticky note and place it where you can see it daily. You press your laptop, on your packing station. Just don't let Barb see you put it on your computer. That's all you can do. And just let that be your compass to lead your way. So, number two, let's give yourself permission to play again. When every order feels like a deadline, creativity really starts to suffocate. And the fastest way to fall back in love with your craft is to create something just for you. No client, no profit, no pressure, just pure fun and play. Making space for creative freedom isn't a waste of time. It's about how you refill that tank that fuels your business. And you can't pour from an empty cup. You can't design from burnout. So, pick a random design idea, grab some scraps. Let's see what happens, right? Maybe you're going to try a new font combo, or maybe a new material combination. Maybe you're going to mix some DTF and rhinestones. It doesn't have to sell, just has to make you smile. You know, Rekindling fun often means just letting go of perfection. When you stop worrying about mistakes, you rediscover the magic that made you want to press, print, and create in the first place. So, some examples of this, you know, printer dedicated one Friday a month to Freestyle Friday, and they were just doing their own thing. No rules, no deadlines. Let's just see what happens. All fun. Documented the process, had a great time with it. Another one gave themselves an afternoon just to design something that would never go to market. Ended up being the best seller for them. So, what do we need to do? Let's just schedule one creative session each month that's only for you. That's it. It's not for a customer. It's not for a family member. It's not the post online. Sure, you can, but it's just for you. No customers allowed. Just create it for the joy of creating to see if you can do it. So, number three is let's celebrate small wins and stop moving those goalposts because makers tend to be our own worst critics. You hit a goal and then immediately raise the bar. And then that constant climb can kill your joy faster than bad press job. The cure? You just need to slow down long enough to celebrate the small wins that you've got. Oh, excuse me. You got to celebrate the small wins that got you here. Every positive review, repeat customer, or smooth job just deserves the recognition. The moments are proof that your hard work is paying off. And it is easy to change that next milestone. More orders, more followers, more profit. But if you never stop to acknowledge how far you've come, you're just always going to feel behind. You know, gratitude turns ordinary days into fuel. Write down three things that went right each week. The act of noticing progress turns frustration into motivation. So some examples of this is a decorator started posting Friday wins on their Instagram stories, shouting out one small success. I got to stop putting so much S's in things. Customers started seeing it and cheered them on for it. Another shop kept a wall of wins, with printed screenshots of happy customer messages. And that was a visual reminder to them that the grind is worth it. So, action step for this is let's just keep a win journal. Yep. Every week, we're going to write down three good things that happened, no matter how small they are. And what you're going to do is you'll train your brain to look for progress instead of pressure. So, now, before we move on to 4 or 5, let's check in, see how we are with it. Let's see, Alex, good morning to you. 50 heat press again, love it. I need a new press. Orange Celsius, I bought a case because the orange Celsius is pretty legit, isn't it? Actually, I have mango lemonade. I finished the orange. I have a mango lemonade. It is pretty good. I should get a cut of that. In fact, the new video that I'm putting out, yeah, it has a Celsius can in it. Fix heat press again. Oh, fix heat press again. What'd you do? Why are you breaking it? Claire, good morning to you. Renee, 5 things: therapy, sourcing, catching up on emails, daydream about vacation in 5 days. I don't even know what that is. They're going. I am daydreaming about I Friday night we had a fall festival at the school, and we were talking to one of the school board members that was there. It was just us dads around the fire, and he said, asked, well, anything big coming up? I was like, well, yeah, they're all headed to Disney this week. I said, I was going to go down to a conference, but buying the business didn't. He goes, yeah, he goes, we're getting stuff. He goes, I leave on Monday. He goes, I got to head out of town for a conference too. And he goes down to Orlando. I was like, oh, that's where I'd be going, is to Orlando. He goes, yeah, I've got Printing United on. I'm like, whoa, 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 what? Why are you going to Printing United? I didn't know anything about this. Turns out he works for a printing company. And so we're chit-chatting about that. But yeah, he's like, do you need me to bring you back anything? I'm like, no, don't bring me back anything. Uh, and Claire, why did she do it? Because I don't like working for anyone else. I don't know if I could. I really don't know if I could go back. I've always said I'm going to go work for Sarah. I'm going to go work for Brian. They're the two closest ones that have, facilities. I'm going to go work for them. I don't know if I ever could. Uh, in Cindy, 44, I'm drinking iced tree cake latte. That's a new one. 5 things: print and cut earring cards, print clay cutters, glaze earrings, update Facebook, tree cake palooza, make 40 pairs of chocolate tree cake earrings. That sounds good. You and me both, Brian. Me and Brian had a hard week. I effed up some orders for Brian. We had to do what needed to be done. I effed that up too. So, talk about disappointed customer, disappointed me. That sucks, Brian. Sorry. Like, it screwed up. That's all I can say is hopefully you still use us. We'll make it right on the next one. Alex says, when I turned 50, I tried things including real estate, lost my shirt. I do this because it's what I know. 35 years doing this, I have to figure out how to make money online out of my house. There's nothing wrong with that. You can make a great living out of your house online. Morning, Alex from Renee. Morning, Renee from Alex. Hi, Alex from Barb. Alex, I saw your ad with you throwing the rhinestones everywhere. My OCD went off. Oh yeah, they're great, right? I'm having a great time with those. It's making me smile to do those. So there's some more coming. I think there's more coming. And Renee says, not only can I not work for anyone, I don't think my face would allow me to work with the current generation that is in the workforce. I could probably agree with that, Renee. I could probably agree with that. All right. Number four, you know, build community, not competition. I mean, one of the biggest causes of burnout is isolation. When you work from home, it's easy to feel like you're the only one struggling. But I will tell you, there is a massive community right here, all of us decorators out there who get it, you know, and connecting with them, connecting with us, you know, hopefully that really reminds you that you're not alone. Instead of seeing other decorators as competition, start seeing them as collaborators, sharing stories, venting about bad blanks, or celebrating those wins together. That really will start to reignite your sense of belonging. You know, we're all trying to make it, right? And community brings the fun back faster than solitude ever could. And truth is, you know, your vibe improves when you're around people who understand your grind and your goals. Surround yourself with encouragement, not comparison. So some examples of this, Decorator joined a Facebook group of local makers. They started doing coffee meetups and their creativity skyrocketed just from swapping ideas. Another printer partnered with another shop to cross promote their products. Both businesses grew and they rediscovered the joy of creating together. So here's the action step for this. We have many groups that you're able to get into. Just connect with at least one new decorator this month. You got 11 days left to do it. Leave a comment, share a post, or just message someone whose work you admire. All right. And now, number 5. This one's so tough. So tough. Redesign your work-life balance. Right? When your business lives at home, the line between I love this and I can't escape this, it gets really blurry. If your press is always on and your brain never shuts off, it's no wonder it stopped feeling fun. You know, Creating boundaries is not selfish. It is self-preservation. Give your creativity a schedule. Designate work hours and stick to them. When your press power's down, so should you. You'll find that time away from work actually makes you more productive and inspired when you return to work. You know, Balance isn't about equal time. It's about intentional time. Be fully present wherever you are, whether that's with your family, your craft, or resting. When you treat your downtime like it matters, I'm telling you, not only will your business thank you for it, so will your family. So some examples of this, an artist started taking a tech-free night once a week, right? No emails, no orders, just nothing but work. They felt like their anxiety dropped instantly. You know, Another shop created a hard cutoff time, 5 p.m. Owner said that they felt more creative during the day because they had the evenings to recharge. For us, typically 6, I'm in here between 5 and 6, or 5, done for the day. I might work on some things, but I try not to. Weekends, really try not to. I'll work on pet projects, but as far as business stuff, not so much. I need that time to recharge. I need that time for the family. We need to do things. Can't work all the time because then I get burnt out. So, your action step is define your clock out rule. Just pick 1 hour each night when all business stops. And what you need to do is you need to honor that like it's a customer deadline. So, to recap all of this, if your business has started feeling like a burden, it is not a sign to quit. It's just a signal to reconnect. And how are we going to do that? Well, we're going to remember our why. Reignite the reason that you started. We're going to give ourselves permission to play because we're going to create for joy, just not for profit. We're going to celebrate those small wins because progress deserves attention. We're going to build community, not competition. Let's go out there and find our people. And then 5 is let's redesign your balance. This is going to help protect your peace and your passion. So when the fun starts to fade, your creativity is going to follow. But that spark is never gone. It's just waiting for you to slow down, to breathe, and to remember that this just is not a job. It's an art form for you built with your own 2 hands. You don't need to be burnt out to prove you're serious. You need to connect with what made you love this in the first place. Because when you create from joy instead of exhaustion, your best work and your best self will show up every time. That's what we got for you. I needed that myself. Because this is going to be a week, and I had a week, and yeah, I need to reevaluate. This was a good one for me. It's wild how we plan these out, weeks in advance, and they always just kind of hit home with me. And I think a lot of it is because I'm doing topics that I need for myself too. Wednesday's topic, because if you didn't know, we do this every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. So make sure to like and subscribe and share and do all that stuff. We're going to just talk about what are we talking about Wednesday? Being scared and doing it anyway, right? Because confidence comes first, doesn't come first, action does. So we're going to talk about how to take those imperfect steps towards our next goal, even when we're terrified. So we got that coming on Wednesday. Now, tomorrow, are we going to be doing live pressing? I don't know. It depends on how today and tomorrow goes for that. Tomorrow, what are we going to be talking about? Caesar Metal HTV. That's what we're talking about. That should be delivered today. It says it's out for delivery. So we can get that into inventory and put that there. But that's what we're going to be talking about tomorrow night. And that's at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Yeah, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time for Tuesday with Todd. We'll be back for this on Wednesday. I believe next Wednesday we're going to take a day off. I'm waiting to hear back today. We have a meeting with the school board next Wednesday. I thought it was at night on Friday. They said it's going to be at 9 a.m. They're going to see if we really need to be there or not. We're going to find out today, and then we'll know for sure. So there might not be any show next Wednesday. But we do this every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. Let's see, what do I have in here? Alex says, I don't think I could work for anyone ever again. Maybe it's just me, but there's a bunch of morons out there. Yeah, all right. Alex, when life gets too tough at home, I go what I call putt-putts. Just get in the car, go for a ride, get nice coffee, just ride 20 minutes, 4.5 hours, just go. I used to do that. It was Jeep. It was just get in the Jeep and just go. Top down, doors off, music on, and just go for a ride. I haven't done that for a long time. Maybe I should buy another Jeep just for that. Now it's just getting the golf cart. But now it's getting cold. So I need to find something to do where it's getting cold. Not a job, an art form. Yes, yes, yes. Claire, you're very welcome. I try. The same stuff that I have to use for myself. We try and give to you guys too here. And so remember, the best way you can help is always share. If you're watching on replay, make sure to put team replay. With that, we do this every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We're going to wrap this up today. We have our mentorship call that's starting at 9:30, so a little over a half hour away. I'm going to try and bag out as much work as I can in the next half hour. So, till next time, peace, love, press on, and we will see you then.